Welcome to the Hudson Show. Coming up, Aaron Rodgers is so back. Also, how do you get your coworkers to like you? All that and more on the way next. Hey, thanks for joining us here on the Hudson Show podcast. Did you know at Disneyland, there's a private club called Club 33. It was founded by Walt Disney himself in 1967 for VIP high roller guests at Disneyland. It costs about $31,000 a year to be a member of, to be able to actually get into it. And here's what's even crazier. That one couple has spent $400,000 suing Disneyland because they got kicked out of Club 33. The couple in question, Scott and Diana Anderson from Arizona, they used to go to Disneyland upwards of 80 times a year to go visit Club 33. It says that they spent around $125,000 going to Disneyland so often and going to visit Club 33. That is until each of them, both of the couple, got kicked out of Club 33 for violating rules. Scott got kicked out for being drunk, which you're not allowed to do on Disneyland grounds, apparently. He claims that he was simply dealing with migraines triggered by a glass of red wine. Meanwhile, his wife, Diana, also was kicked out for using profanity. And ever since then, they have been trying to sue Disneyland, I should say, to regain their status. They've spent over $400,000 doing this. And it just last week, it was settled. A jury in Orange County, California, found that Disneyland, man, how many times am I going to do that? They don't have to let these people back in. These people, they were going 80 times a year. You'd think they'd know the rules. You'd think they'd know that they can't curse and get drunk at Disneyland, but apparently not. And so they have wasted $400,000. Diana even said she would sell a kidney if that's what it would take to keep battling. Well, I think the battle's over no matter how many kidneys you sell. And while this may seem crazy, especially because these are two adults trying to get in to Disneyland, they loved it that much. Think about what that means. We don't know what Club 33 is like. We're not, you and I, we're just the hoi polloi. We can't afford $30,000 a year to join Club 33, but whatever is in there must be so amazing. So amazing that they weren't just willing to pay $30,000 a year. They were willing to pay $400,000 to try to get back in. It's the Hudson Show. We are doing useless knowledge all about Adam Sandler since today is his 58th birthday. Your useless knowledge question of the day is a simple one. In Adam Sandler's career, which movie that he starred in made the most money? What is his highest grossing film of all time? And many good guesses coming in at 8772 RadioU, a popular guess. Grown-ups, of course. Also, Happy Gilmore was a big one, and 50 First Dates, but those are all wrong. A lesson needs to be learned here that we need to be taught in useless knowledge. This is actually going to be useful knowledge for you, and that is, say it with me, sequels make more money. That is, you got to guess sequels when we're talking which made the most money. And in fact, this is the addendum to that, and that is kids' movies make more money. This is almost universally true, and it's certainly the case when it comes to Adam Sandler, where, and by the way, shout out to Cameron and several others who did get this correct, that it's not just Hotel Transylvania. Hotel Transylvania 3 is the highest grossing movie of Adam Sandler's career. I do like that somebody texted in Billy Madison. That's like his first movie, right? So it's like Billy Madison, and then it's all downhill from there for Adam Sandler. No, of course not. He's done quite well in kids' movies and otherwise. And speaking of Adam Sandler on his birthday, do you care that the Red Arrow Diner was Adam Sandler's favorite restaurant from his childhood in Manchester, New Hampshire, and they reproduced it for the movie Grown Ups 2 to display their appreciation for the actor. The restaurant's menu now includes, and you could go order this, the Adam Sandler burger. I don't know if you'd want to, though. It's topped with lettuce, tomato, raw onion, mayo. Whoa! A little out there. That's a very unique burger to give his namesake to. Very creative there. Happy birthday, Adam Sandler. we could all watch Hotel Transylvania in his honor. It's time for our Monday tradition, the box office breakdown, looking at what made money and what didn't in theaters over the weekend. And what did we learn in Useless Knowledge today? Sequels make more money. And that was the case this weekend at the box office, where Beetlejuice made a ton of money. $110 million in the United States alone. By the way, that is the second biggest opening weekend for any movie to open in September ever. The only September movie that had a bigger opening weekend, you wouldn't probably guess this, but it was It Chapter 1 several years ago. Came in at number 1, and then right behind that, Beetlejuice, number 2. So if you went out and saw that, let me know what you think of it at 8772 Radio U. Rounding out the top 5, Deadpool and Wolverine, sequels make more money. Reagan was number 3. Alien Romulus, sequels make more money. And It Ends With Us is your top 5. What did you see this weekend? Let me know at 8772 Radio U. For me, I watched 2 things. Dream Scenario on Max. It's a movie about Nicolas Cage. He's a star. He is a dorky dad. He's a college professor, but there's nothing particularly like noteworthy about him, whatever. He's just got a pretty boring life. But then for some reason, he starts showing up in like everybody's dreams. And at first, that's kind of fun. He becomes a little bit of a celebrity, but it gets out of hand. I won't spoil too much from there. I enjoyed the movie. It's goofy. It's funny. And Nicolas Cage is like this character. Even though he's a boring guy, like he makes him very unique. He's got all these little odd things about him that make it just kind of fun to watch him, just Nicolas Cage be Nicolas Cage. I don't know if you've seen it, or if you do see it, let me know what you think of the ending, because you're going through the movie. You're like, okay, how are they going to land this plane? And there's kind of like a direction you think it's going to go. And it doesn't, but I just I don't know if it really made sense to me there. The other thing I watched, and this is so weird that this came up, is The Crocodile Hunter, like the show with Steve Irwin. Because for some reason I was logged into Tubi and it was recommended. I was like, hey, I haven't watched Steve Irwin in a long time. And popped that on, and it's still enjoyable. All these years later, Steve Irwin still holds up. What's weird, or what I take away from the show, is like, I think there's a lesson to be learned, and it's be yourself. Because there's so many things he says, maybe in Australia they make sense, but like to me, I'm watching it now, I'm like, that is not a saying I've ever heard anyone say. And he's saying it like he's just such a unique individual, and yet he was a phenomenon. Like people loved. He actually had a movie made about him. Like it wasn't good, but he was just so big. And even though he was so unique, so be yourself. That's what I learned from The Crocodile Hunter. My football thoughts over the weekend. 1, I think a lot of the offenses looked very clunky. I guess it's the preseason, less preseason, less starters playing when they do have the preseason. I just thought everybody kind of looked, for many of the teams, I think it's going to smooth itself out. I wouldn't get too upset. Like the Bengals lost to the Patriots. They didn't look good, but I do believe that they will get back on track as the season goes along. It's just tough to kind of just get into season mode right in week 1. Some teams could do it, but not all. Let's talk about the best win. Is it the Minnesota Vikings, where like Sam Darnold actually looked competent? Yes, it was against the Giants. By the way, I retract everything I said about the Giants making the playoffs. Daniel Jones is just horrible. I don't know what to say. And I don't think that's going to be smoothed out in time. But the Vikings, like Sam Darnold, a lot of people used to him being horrible. He looked pretty good against the Giants, good enough to beat the Giants. Maybe the Vikings can actually be competitive. The worst loss, I don't think there's a debate. It's the Browns. They're supposed to be good, and they looked dreadful against the Cowboys. Yeah, the Cowboys, pretty solid team, pretty good team. But the Browns at home, that's the kind of effort you put up against the Cowboys. That was tough. Or is the worst loss my Packers losing Jordan Love for like a month? That's going to be tough, starting Malik Willis, or I'm hearing talk about Ryan Tannehill. I don't know. Can I have one season where one of my teams can start off competitive? We'll see tonight when Aaron Rodgers hopefully can stay upright and healthy. I'm wearing my Aaron Rodgers Jet shirt right now. Hopefully I won't regret this. Should be a good night. Still good to have football back. so grateful that we get this for the next 4 months. It's the best. What did you think of this weekend in college football? It was a wild one, wasn't it? First of all, Texas goes into the big house, beats Michigan. I think you could definitely make the argument. Granted, it's 2 weeks into the year. Everybody's schedules aren't exactly even, but based off of who they played and how they've looked, Texas could be ranked number one, should be ranked number one for whatever that means 2 weeks into this season. But that was an impressive win. What else happened over the weekend? I retract everything I said about Notre Dame. Last week, I came on here. I said every year I pick Notre Dame to be good. And every year they eventually, crap the bed and screw it up. And so this year I'm done. I didn't do it. And then they beat Texas A&M. I was like, the first year I don't pick Notre Dame to be good. All of a sudden they're good. And then what do? They crap the bed against Northern Illinois. But it was a cool moment for Northern Illinois. That's just what college football is all about. I don't know if you saw the interview with the coach of Northern Illinois after the game. His name's Thomas Hammock. Just very slobbery, but it's a beautiful moment. You got to feel proud for Northern Illinois pulling off that upset. It's the first time they've ever beaten a top 10 team, and they do it against Notre Dame on the road. An amazing accomplishment there. And hopefully they've got still more of a great season ahead. Although even just beating Notre Dame alone, that's enough. That's the kind of thing you remember and you talk about for the rest of your life, I would think. The other big game over the weekend to me, Nebraska beating Colorado. Yes, Dylan Raiola, the quarterback for Nebraska, the Patrick Mahomes impersonation is getting a little, it's getting a little over the top. It's getting a little too much. Be your own man, my man. But it was nice to see Nebraska just house Colorado, who just keeps writing a lot of checks that they absolutely cannot cash. And I don't know, how long is that going to keep going on at Colorado before Coach Prime, finally the jig is up? I don't know. The jig was definitely up this week and they did not look good. Good morning to Nikki, who's joining me. Hello, Nikki.
Good morning, Hudson. Good morning, everybody.
Nikki, I got some girl talk for you. I want to know if you think, as a woman, if you consider this progress. I have a report here that says that more and more women are skipping college.
Ooh, okay. Well, first I want to say I need more girlfriends because I do more girl talk with you than anybody else. And so second, you were saying they're skipping college for what?
Well, they're skipping college to do trades instead, go to vocational schools, learn to be a mechanic or repair things.
No one told me this growing up. I wanted to be a marine biologist. And so they didn't say, well, go to a trade school. But if you don't know this, you could get an excellent job, skip out on all the college stuff and make a lot of money from a trade school.
Yeah, Nikki, it's not too late. You could learn to be a plumber and have a trade.
You know me. Okay. So we're not going to candy code this. It doesn't mean it's for everybody. I've never I think it was my parents' fault. I never mowed a yard. I've never changed a tire. I've never done an oil change. I think it's too late for me, but for somebody else, you can be, what counts as trade? Is it plumbing, electrician,
right,
kind of AC work, that sort of stuff?
HVAC. I think
Man,
mechanic.
you get a lot of money in HVAC
Carpentry.
stuff.
Carpentry could be fun. You put in cabinets or something. I think.
It's not carpet. It's not. It's the wood stuff, isn't it?
Yes, that is what cabinetry or carpentry. I'm seeing in this story, they've got some women that have their own. They have their own repair shops and stuff. Listen. I am married now, but when I was in the dating game, if a gal came to me and she had she was I'm a mechanic, that would be a massive plus. That's a huge value add, don't you think?
Absolutely.
Because now you're helping me out. Whatever your job is, you're bringing in money. But if you have a mechanic and you can work on my car and you're cute and smart, what's not to love? That's triple
Hudson,
threat.
I think you would have grown up to be a stay-at-home man.
I am
just a stay-at-home guy.
I am concerned. Nikki, is this a concern of yours that what if women learn to do everything and they don't need guys like me anymore?
I think, well, especially if you find someone who's supposed to be a partnership, like you're supposed to have some strengths and weaknesses. But I just never liked feeling that you had to go to college for so long and like just have the college experience and then get in so much debt if you didn't want to. Like if you just want to get a really good trade job, get a lot of money, save up that way, that kind of starts you off better earlier than maybe some of your peers. So why not for everyone, not just women? I think that's a fantastic idea.
I think I'm with you on this. I could talk about college. It was technically a college, but I went to broadcasting school, way cheaper and way less time involved. And then boom, all of a sudden, while everybody else was doing 4-year college, I was already maximizing my earning potential.
Now, and also we will say this, you don't always have to go to broadcasting school as well. It's just helpful if you were ever told you talk too much and you have all those signs of a DJ. But yeah, that's great. I think more power to anybody who wants to do that. So that way Hudson could stay at home.
That's my goal.
Not have to work. That's your goal.
I don't know if this is true, but there are a lot of people on TikTok that swear by it. The Care Bear method. If you're trying to get somebody interested in you, you're single, you've got somebody in mind, you don't know if they truly like you or not, or maybe they've already rejected you in the past. Maybe they're even your ex. That's actually the ideal person to do this to, apparently. The theory is that you have to, this can't just be somebody off of Tinder that you've never spoken to before. It has to be somebody that follows you on your socials, and what you need to do is completely disappear off of, do not post. Some say for several days. Some say it might take over a week to 10 days, but you just disappear off of socials. If they text you, you leave them on red. You do not acknowledge them for several days, and all of a sudden that's going to build up an obsession. It's going to build up some mystery about you. Like, why aren't they posting anymore? They used to post so often, and that will foster much more interest from that somebody that you're hoping to grab their attention. The best way possibly to grab their attention is by doing nothing at all to grab their attention. I say it makes sense. I say give it a try. I say why stop at dropping social media for 7 to 10 days? I say drop it even further. In fact, get rid of your phone. Throw it in a lake. Go move to a cabin several states over. That'll make them interested. The more you can disappear from their life, the more questions they're going to have. That can only be good, right? Man, it does feel good to be back after last night, Monday Night Football. Aaron Rodgers in action. Yes, the Jets lost. But come on, did Aaron Rodgers not look pretty good in that loss? That's all I really wanted. That's all I wanted last night, was to be able to get through a game, a few plays without Aaron Rodgers getting injured. He didn't get injured. He looked fine. The offensive line protected him against a pretty stout 49ers defense. And the Packers scored, or the Jets, already me with this. The Jets scored a few points. It wasn't the best offensive showing. I feel like, as is typical for Aaron Rodgers teams, and I don't know why this is, everybody else seemed to let him down. Breece Hall, the running game, wasn't what it was cracked up to be. There's some drops by receivers. Obviously, the defense, what was that? Not able to stop a running play, no matter how much they knew it was coming. The Jets, that defense that was so great last year, not all it was cracked up to be last night. And Aaron Rodgers wasn't perfect, but I mean, would you be if you had just torn your Achilles a year ago and hadn't played any football at all for an entire year? Probably not. It wasn't perfect, but I found a lot of signs of hope as a Aaron Rodgers fan. And yet again, a win would be great, but Aaron Rodgers just getting through the game and looking good felt to me like a win. That was good enough. And, at the 49ers, there's a lot of reasons to think that would have been a weak spot for them. Brandon Ayuk holding out in the preseason. Trent Williams, their offensive lineman, holding out. Christian McCaffrey not even playing. He was injured. You think, if we can get the 49ers, this is the game. No, they still look amazing. I don't know what to say about the 49ers. Brock Purdy continues to show that I'm wrong about him, so that's tough. But let's forget about the 49ers. Let's talk about the Jets and all the hope that I have as an Aaron Rodgers fan. Last night looked great, and lots of other things to look forward to. Devontae Adams, you think he's staying with the Raiders on that putrid team? No, he's going to ask for a trade. He's going to be on the Jets before the end of the season. And, oh, by the way, the Jets, the next game against the Titans, against Will Levis. I think he's already thrown an interception in that game somehow. So we're feeling good. I think if we all are honest with ourselves, we know Cheetos aren't great for us. But what you may not realize is Cheetos can also be pretty harmful to the environment. That's what park rangers at Carlsbad Caverns National Park in New Mexico want you to know, as they posted earlier this week about how somebody dropped a bag full of Cheetos in Carlsbad Caverns National Park, which is obviously a tragedy. All those Cheetos going to waste. They're so delicious. But they say that a simple bag of Cheetos can have a huge impact on the cave's ecosystem. This specifically from the Post. They say the processed corn softened by the humidity of cave formed the perfect environment for the host microbial life and fungi. Cave crickets, mites, spiders, and flies soon organize into a temporary food web, dispersing the nutrients to the surrounding cave and formations. Mold spread higher up the nearby surfaces. Fruit die and stink, and the cycle continues. All because of one dropped bag of Cheetos. They say it can create an ecological nightmare for the cave's ecosystem, and that's why plain bottled water is the only thing that visitors are supposed to bring in to Carlsbad Caverns National Park in New Mexico. Listen, I understand we don't want to be leaving trash around in these caves. But that said, if your cave's ecosystem is so fragile, it can be brought down by a simple bag of Cheetos, maybe your cave's ecosystem kind of sucks. Nothing feels as good as a second chance. Think about this. If you're a college football fan, you might remember last year, Georgia Tech losing to Miami. It was the dying seconds. Miami literally just needed to take a knee. They could have knelt out the clock, and instead they run the ball, fumble it. Georgia gets it back. They get the second chance, and then, of course, they wind up winning. Nothing feels as good as that. You thought the game was over, you get another chance. Or maybe you get caught speeding. You get pulled over. The cop let you off with a warning. Maybe you get caught doing something you know you shouldn't do in your relationship. You think, oh, this is over. They're going to break up with me. And then what happens? They're like, no, I really love you. I'm going to give you another chance. Don't do it again. It doesn't, nothing feels as good as knowing that you should face some certain fate. And instead, you get another chance because not only do you get, because first of all, you hit that low of like, man, this really sucks. Things are about to go really bad. I've done something horrible. And you go from that low to the high of, hey, it's actually not that bad. And two, like that second chance, I think for many of us, not some people just love to use up their second chances over and over and over again. But for many of us, it's a wake up call. It is a chance to change your behavior. It's a realization that like, hey, I screwed up that time, but now that I've got another shot, I'm going to do it better this time. God wants to give you a second chance. Each and every one of us has stuff in our lives that we're not especially proud of. And you probably hold on to and think, well, the more I think about this, the more I feel like nobody should really give me another chance for this. But God wants to. Jesus wants to give you another chance. And what's crazy is even if you use up that second chance and a third chance and a fourth chance, God keeps giving them to you because he loves you. And listen, at some point, I really think that you keep getting those second chances. Eventually, you will realize that you will have that change in behavior. We're like, man, I got to stop doing this. I got to do things better. And God will help you with that as well. Find out what that second chance from God feels like. Say, hey, Jesus, I'm ready for that. I'm ready to move past some stuff in the past that I need to let go of, some things that I'm not proud of. And I know you're ready to take me back as soon as I do. Start talking to God. Find out what that feels like. And if you want to know more, RadioU.com/free gift. We need your help with today's Fired or Hired on the Hudson Show. You can chime in with your advice at 8772-RadioU. Today we have what seems like a simple question, but I think that may have complex answers. The question is, how do you get your coworkers to like you if you're not super outgoing? If someone who says, I feel like I can make pretty good conversation, but I have a really low energy personality. I drink coffee, tea, energy drinks, etc. to try to get myself hyper before my shifts, but nothing really works. Been there. All the people I work with are always laughing and talking and being generally bubbly, and every time I join a conversation, it feels like the whole vibe instantly deteriorates. I can feel them slowly start to not like me. What should I do? 8772 Radio U. This may be helpful information to know, not just at work, but in life. How do you get people to like you if you don't have a big outgoing personality? We got a response from Regina who says, I'm definitely the type of person who's not very outgoing when I'm in a group of strangers. For me, I sit back and observe before I interact. Maybe take some time to observe what they're talking about, what their interests are, and see if it's something that you can find a connection with and you can discuss that with them. So you don't have to instantly jump into the conversation. Just take some time, take some mental notes. She also says, maybe try a would you rather. That is true. I think if you're known as the person, and not that people will go, hey, you know that Jim, he's really the type of guy that gets a conversation started. But if you can kind of make that a thing about you, where you just know how to ask a question that gets a conversation going, people will like you for that. I tend to think I'm kind of good at that. Maybe it's because of doing this show. So you can steal some of our would you rathers and use them at your work and get the conversation going. Go for it. We also heard from Bobby who says, along the same lines, ask them questions about themselves and use their name when speaking to them. Interesting. That's almost like the Andy Bernard way of going about things. Name repetition, never break off a handshake, that type of thing. Let's see. We heard from Kristen who says, why do you feel the need for it? We're all unique. There's no need to conform to the expectations of your colleagues. Just be yourself. You don't have to force yourself into doing things that aren't natural for you. I kind of like that too. You don't have to be, but you know what though? You're going to feel much better at work. Like I don't want to, you should still be yourself, but you're going to feel much better at work if you feel like the people you're working with like you and you're not killing the conversation every time you show up. This is good from Rusty. If they mention their pets, ask to see pictures, even if you aren't interested. People love to show pictures of and talk about their pets. Man, that is so true. 8772 Radio U. How do you get your coworkers to like you if you're not the type of person that's exactly very outgoing? Susanna says, ask them broad questions about their lives, and if received well, keep asking follow-up questions. That's just, especially about hobbies and pets. Again, this is something that applies not just to work, but in life in general. If you can just ask questions, that's all you need to do. That's all that can really cover up for a lot of you not being very interesting or outgoing, quite frankly. And let's see, I got one more here, and that is from Devin, who says, bring food. That'll do it. If you're known as the cook, that may set some expectations that you may not want to have for yourself. There, all of a sudden, you're the food person. But then again, if you're starting to bring in cupcakes and bagels, how are they not going to like you? It is the Hudson Show on Radio U. We're doing a food fight. Welcome, NayNay, to the studio. NayNay
I made it.
I think you should rest assured that this food fight, it's not going to be spicy. Thank like God. Many of our recent food fights.
It doesn't look spicy. It just looks odd.
Does it look a little scary?
Oh my gosh. Are we about to talk about Halloween?
A little spooky. Yeah, we are.
You know how
it's September 10th. It's not too early.
Stop, dude. And you know, this reminds me of when people start playing Christmas music on November 1st. Mm-hmm. Can y'all wait at least until the Radio U Christmas channel comes out? Can y'all at least wait until that, please?
NayNay. It's September. We got past Labor Day. What else are we supposed to look forward to than Halloween?
My birthday in a week. I know this is very narcissistic, but there any, y'all could at least get past that.
Themed snacks for that or anything like that, or
I can bring in snacks.
Just like ketchup.
Yeah, just ketchup. Yay!
I have it's a double-barreled food fight today.
Double barrel.
Would you rather do the chocolate first or the drink?
What do you mean double barrel? You locked and loaded?
Yeah, we are.
Okay. All right. I will take. Wait, what are my options again?
Well, you've got a drink and you've got a chocolate. Which would you rather have first?
Let's do the drink first.
All right. The drink, it's a beautiful green hue.
This literally looks like someone put green stuff in a cauldron.
Interesting.
Yeah,
try them.
Do I even get to know what it is?
Not until you try it first.
Oh, I don't like that.
No, you don't? Do you know what the flavor is?
I don't even know, dude. What is it?
The flavor is Beetlejuice. No, it's a haunted apple. It's haunted apple.
Oh, this is from the
Haunted apple Fanta.
Beetlejuice movie.
Yeah, they've really marketed the heck out of this thing.
Haunted apple. That didn't taste like apple at all.
No, I tasted apple.
You what?
It's like a kind of like a cinnamon apple. Like it's got some cinnamon, some spices.
I still don't taste apple.
I kind of like it.
When I see green and someone says apple, I think green apple. I don't think any other flavor besides that. And that didn't taste like no apple. I'm just going to say. But I guess the haunted part really, they really hit that one home there. Yeah. I guess haunted is an excuse for bad.
I guess that does make an excuse. All right, so maybe the candy will treat you better then.
Okay. This is an orange. Is it say? Oh, it's a Kit Kat. Orange Kit Kat.
Have you ever seen an orange chocolate before?
No. But
Neither
fun
have I.
fact, a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away, I was at a checkout line. I was in middle school, and my dad bought me some Kit Kats, all right? And I was super excited to eat them, and I could only eat it for a snack. Well, after I woke up from my nap, because, well, I'm in middle school, I go to the pantry to check for my Kit Kats, and they were gone. My dad accidentally ate them one time.
No.
And he felt so bad, and then he bought me more Kit Kats. That's my only story that I ever remember with Kit Kats, was waking up from a nap, and my dad ate them. But they weren't orange, so let's give this a shot.
Well, while you were over there telling that story, I've eaten like half of my Kit Kat already. These are good. These are pretty nice.
This is so much better than whatever that haunted apple stuff was.
Doesn't this kind of taste...
Is this like orange creamsicle or something?
Oh, no, it doesn't taste like that. You're letting your eyes deceive you. This is the Kit Kat Ghost Toast.
Ghost Toast?
Which is naturally and artificially... Oh, here we go.
Boo.
Crispy wafers and cinnamon toast flavored cream.
Boo.
I was thinking it tastes kind of like a oatmeal cream pie in a way.
If this tastes like oatmeal cream pie, I'm honestly sick of seeing those in the RadioU kitchen.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even eat them anymore, so I probably wouldn't have liked it as much. But, Ghost Toast. It's not bad. I like it. I think this is so much better than whatever this nasty haunted apple stuff was.
Mm-hmm.
Kit Kat, 8 out of 10. Haunted apple, 4.
My rating for both is they're so good, it's scary.
Stop it, dude. Stop it.
It's the Hudson Show. Thanks for listening to the Hudson Show. Please don't forget to rate and review the podcast.